Welcome to Bible study, because we are talking about the gospel that is Berserk. Today, we got the count.
We should never see the other is better.
With his birth, we look at his genetics. Look at his head. He looks like a thumb, a knee, or a chin. He grew up to be the best heretic buster or pagan slayer. He was a crusader with Hall of Fame backbuster and knee immobilizer. In the name of glory and the holy powers that be, he was cutting people down and headbutting niggas. He finally acquired some status and power, got himself a dime piece, then he figured out she is but a thought from the streets, or as they say, for the favelas. That's tough, my nigga, bro. That's so tough. The Golden Age, Chapter 1. Ubik is a fool for saying this. A noble man and his beautiful, virtuous wife.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
This nigga's a demon for that shit, bro. The Count is a man that lacks nobility and his wife ain't virtuous at the slightest. The Count later pulls up, deletes a couple save files, deletes the System32 folder off everybody's Windows machine. He was going stupid. Then this levitating bedbug realizes how foul of a phrase that was and follows it up with, as it would seem. This nigga's a demon, bro. He is a 5th level dark wizard, a 1900s cult leader. Ubik's narration skills are pristine because this nigga had me enthralled the whole time. Like the build up to the fall of the Count was as juicy as an organic tangerine. Like this nigga speaks in perfect pacing. If Ubik ever decided to make a manga, every huge moment will be extremely rewarding and every joke will be a knee slapper because the investment will always be worth it. He wasted no time in leading us to the destruction of the Count's human heart. He even drops very stimulating words and terms in there to keep us on the edge of our seats. This guy is explaining the fall of man, the creation of an immortal monster devoid of all human emotion, an extreme allergic reaction to pain, with so much enthusiasm, joy, and lack of empathy. He is speaking like he is telling an old campfire tale about a myth or legend, but the nigga is right there, exhausted from a long, harsh heretic hunting campaign. The Count rushed back to the arms of his beloved wife and daughter in order to soothe his soul. Little did he know, his soul was going to leave his body. This nigga pulled up, popped a mini, then tried to get some slug juice from his wife, just to be double pumped by the pain of a sweaty skeleton skin. But emotionally, the visuals were already stimulating enough. But with the description, Ubik becomes Picasso when he paints the picture. In the midst of a strange stench, yuck, a wave of heat, a sea of flesh squirmed in the tangled mass. Jesus Christ. A scene that smells like corn chips, Slim Jims, and walrus belly button. This is an unsightly sight, something I do not want to see, something straight out of a dream. As Guts said in Chapter 2, well, I'm gonna try to get a little sleep now. Yes, nigga, get some sleep. Count needs some sleep, bruh. The Count needs some R&R and some Z's. Shit, this nigga probably needs to go to a brothel and pay a small fee. She is riding heretic dick while her man is out there risking his life keeping the heretics away. You know what, let's put a modern spin on this one. It's like his shorty was riding thug meat while her man was risking his life trying to clean up the streets. But ironically, he forgot the biggest piece of trash there was. Adultery was such a villainous and cruel act back in these times because men had no real way of confirming paternity. If you catch your baby mom cheating in this age, it begs the question, is this really my baby mother? Is this my kid? Fuck them kids. And you? To the dungeon! Like Rosine, when they put the magnifying glass on the perils of a man living in an age where you cannot confirm paternity, is a really good parallel to this scene. Theresia and Rosine are two sides of the same coin. Putting morality to the side, in both situations, it resulted with an apostle being born. Like Rosine's mom and dad were doing her filthy, so she packed him up and dropped him off. But for the Count, his wife did him grimy, so he packed her up and dropped her off. I guess in the Count situation, his goons didn't really like him after he turned to an apostle. He just did his thing and ate niggas. But for Rosine, she had them elves turn up. For them elves, it was up and it was stuck. Them niggas were loving it, bruh. They got to play war. You know, that demonic and satanic bullshit they were doing. And then they went to each and every town giving living entities a football. Then they started playing Smear the Queer, evicting souls from their bodies. The Rosine arc was tough, But for the Count, life was rough. The fact that the Count's love and regard for his daughter didn't waver after her mother's actions is something that's overlooked in the series, but also tells a lot about his character. There's countless stories in ancient times telling the messy tale of nobility. Whenever the wife steps out on a very powerful husband, this nigga will use his power to evict his wife and also the children he suspected weren't his. That's why there's a lot of illegitimate bloodlines and fritzes. Honestly, shout out his daughter, bruh. Theresia. She figured out that her dad is a sucker and her mom is a treesh.
That's not true. It can't be true.
Nigga is true. Y'all went to the Dungeons of Midland to battle a raid boss, but the nigga who does all the damage turns deviant. You should have thought twice, probably 4 times. You should have did your homework before you did this one. Cause honestly, she wrote a check that she could not cash. She was charging up her punch, but she was hit with a blast. She was trying to blitz him, but it was her own life that flashed. The walk-in Chin witnesses his wife and his life crumbling right before his eyes. His wife writhing in pure ecstasy and contorting her face in absolute pleasure, all with the opposition. He goes into a blind rage, dropping out most of the clan. He's fixing to get the Mangekyo, but the Philosopher's Stone got him right. Then he activates the behelit in order to become a true monster, to lose the ability to feel his very human emotions, his very human pain. He sacrifices the one he loved so much, but the one who also betrayed him. He becomes an apostle, and he is given immortality or damnation to hell. Now, because of his prior experience with his wife, he locks his daughter away because he will do everything in his power to keep the heretics away from his female loved ones. He cannot have round 2 of that motherfucker, and his daughter resents him for this. They lose a close bond that they had before his daughter even starts to fear him. The Count now spends his days headbutting walls, catching heretics, eating people, torturing people, conspiring against conspirators, and causing a great deal of wear and tear to his throne. And with the whole wife debacle, the Count builds an obsession for the annihilation of heretics, similar to Eren Yeager. Ordaining his hatred for Titans and thus exterminating them, so does the Count and the local heretics. Instead of seeking a therapy that can never heal the severities of his trauma, he continues to indulge in these very inhumane and barbaric acts until Vargas's extreme want for vengeance grows legs. This long-legged bastard is guts, and he proceeds to end the Count's career. The Black Swordman proceeds to destroy the corruption that the Count has created in his kingdom, putting an end to the Count's ambitions and thus his dream. I guess in this case, the Count's burning desires were engulfed by the much larger inferno that was guts. The one fish with the extremely rare ability to jump out of the river, disturbing the omnipotent flow of events of causality generated from the deepest, darkest depths of the astral world. The Count personified, hyperbolically, the heartbreaking tale of man dealing with infidelity, and how this pain can possibly turn you into an absolute monster. But hey, I recently finished Berserk, got to chapter 363. Nigga, this shit's a hit. But it ended at such a crazy spot. I'm so sad that I'll never see how things will move on from this point. I want to know what happened to the Skeleton Knight. I want to know why those god hands are different from the god hands that we see today. After finishing all 363 chapters, I can officially say that Berserk is gospel, that Berserk is the Bible. There's nothing that was like Berserk before, and everything will be influenced by Berserk afterwards. On September 10th, the last and final chapter of Berserk is coming out. I may be live streaming that bitch. Stay tuned, that bitch could be cold as hell. A legendary stream, my nigga. Chapter 364. I wish it ended on chapter 365, because that is a year. And I think it would have been symbolic for Berserk to have 365 chapters, because a year is always symbolic. But anyway, I appreciate y'all niggas for watching. Kiss you on the left cheek, slapping on the right. I'll see y'all when I see y'all, man.
When this is over, I'm getting out of it. All of it. When I do.